Hey guys, it's Peter and welcome to my channel, Peter Likes Books. And today I have a review for you. Today I want to review Freida McFadden's The Intruder. I just finished listening to it on Audible this weekend. The review that I'm going to give you and the review that I thought that I was going to give you are two completely different things. Okay, so let me give you a little history of my history with Freida McFadden, okay? First of all, I think it was 2 years ago, everybody was talking about those housemaid books, okay? So I got all three of them, or how many ever out? Two, I think there's three total, and then the Housemaid's Wedding. I got all three of them on the Audible to listen to them. I am now heavily into the physical copy reading again, but I'm also listening to audiobooks. I'm reading about 7 or 8 physical copy books, 2 in the Kindle, 2 Halloween books in the, and a zombie book in the Kindle. And then I'm always listening to an audiobook. So anyway, I listened to The Housemaid. Everybody was like, it's predictable. I didn't think it was predictable. I liked The Housemaid. I actually thought it was not that predictable. I love The Housemaid. I don't remember what the second one is. The Housemaid is Watching, or The Housemaid Came Home, or The Housemaid Got Out of the Closet. I don't know what the second one is, but I listened to it as well, and I loved it. I loved the first and the second one. I actually was kind of saving the third one. Then when I saw that the movie was coming out, I was like, you better hurry up and get these Housemaid books done, right? Okay. So I am on all of these like Facebook thriller book clubs. You guys know what I'm talking about? Like the psychological book club on Facebook. It's got like 10 million followers or something like that. They constantly are talking about Freida McFadden books. Okay. I mean, like that's all they talk about. In fact, people will post over there and be like, give me the best thriller you've ever read and don't say a Freida McFadden, because all they do is talk about Freida McFadden over there. Okay. So my best friend, Tanya Jean, has read like almost every Freida McFadden book, okay? My book club partner, Mel, I think she's read most of Freida McFadden books. My friend, Nikki, she's read most of Freida McFadden books. My cousin, Caroline, likes Freida McFadden. So I saw over in the Thriller Book Club that Freida McFadden she had even posted in there and in her own group that The Intruder was coming out. And I believe somebody told me, I think it was my friend Nikki told me that it was her first hardback that she was releasing, because she usually releases right into paperback. So I almost bought it online like the day that it was coming out. I was like, no, I'm going to listen to it on Audible. Well, my friend Tanya Jean, she read it like in a day. And she was like, it was so good. You got, girl, please now. She was like, it was so good. I couldn't put it down. I read it like in 4 hours. I was like, okay. Then my cousin Caroline, she listened to it on Audible. And she picked me up last Wednesday, because she picks me up every Wednesday for Cousin Fun Day. We run around and do errands. And she was like, oh my God. She's like, I got up early this morning because I wanted to find out she was like, I needed to find out what happened in The Intruder. Girl, let me just tell you. My cousin Caroline, she texted me the other day. She said to me, what did you think about The Intruder? It was on Saturday. I said, it was just okay. She said, I liked it a lot. And she's listening to The Tenant now. I'm like, listen, y'all need to miss me with this Intruder stuff, okay? Now, apparently, Freida McFadden is releasing like a lot of old written books, and she's re-releasing them or something. I don't know. I'm confused about this, okay? I was so excited about this book. I even got my friend Nikki to buy it. We were going to read it at the same time. She finished it before me. She thought it was okay. I was so excited about this book, The Intruder, and I think it started off real good. Anyway, here's the synopsis. The Intruder. Does it say what the original date is? Oh, October 7th, 2025. Is this a re-release? I saw somebody's review of it. They said that she was re-releasing like 8 or 9 books or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, who knows? This is The Intruder. It just came out. Who knows what the storm will blow in? Casey's cabin in the wilderness is not built for a hurricane. Her roof shakes, the lights flicker, and the tree outside her front door sways ominously in the wind. But she's a lot more worried about the girl she discovers lurking outside her kitchen window. She's young, she's alone, and she's covered in blood. The girl won't explain where she came from or loosen her grip on the knife in her right hand. And when Casey makes a disturbing discovery in the middle of the night, things take a turn for the worse. The girl has a dark secret, one she'll kill to keep. And if Casey gets too close to the truth, she may not live to see the morning. In this taut, deadly tale of survival and desperation, the #1 New York Times bestselling author, Freida McFadden, explores how far one girl will go to save herself. Okay, now I went into this book thinking it was about these 2 gals trapped in a house during a storm. I was ready for a storm book, okay? I love storm books. I just do. I love storm movies, thunderstorm movies. I love post-apocalyptic books, but those aren't really storm movies, but storm books. But I love blizzard books and movies. If you got blizzard books and movies, recommend them to me. Okay. So I started listening to this book, all right, this weekend, And, or I don't know when it was, Wednesday or Thursday or something like that. Well, it would have been, yeah, my cousin texted me on Saturday. I started listening to this book. I took the dogs outside. We were doing leash training. And I'm standing there, and it's like the sun, it's getting kind of dark, and I'm listening to it while I'm doing the leash training, and it's about this Casey, and she lives out in the woods in this cabin, and the roof's going to blow off, and her landlord won't come and fix the roof and all this stuff. And I am so excited about this book. Okay, like I said, I love me some storm books, right? I'm like, oh my God, the roof's gonna, this intruder, this gal is gonna come, and she might want to try to kill her in the night, and they gotta make it through this storm, and when's the storm gonna hit, and does it take the roof off, and I'm gonna be making my coffee, and I'm gonna be like, oh my God, and it was storming outside in Indianapolis where I live. I love to read a storm book while it's storming, don't you? I like to read books like, you know, if I was going to Maui, I'm not, I wish I was, but if I was going to Maui, I'd like to read a book that took place in Maui. Do you ever do that? Like, that's why I like to read, like, Christmas books at Christmas time, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, so that's what I thought this book was going to be about. I thought it was going to be about this gal that comes and she tricks her way inside and all that kind of stuff. And then Casey's got to be like, is she going to kill me? Is she not going to kill me? And she's locking herself indoors and all that kind of stuff. I'm also right now reading Do Not Disturb by Freida McFadden. By the way, if you're a Freida McFadden fan, because I haven't read that many of hers, I just bought them all. I just bought all. No, true story, I did. I got every Freida McFadden paperback down there. I bought them all online. Every single one of them Freida McFadden books I got. I'm reading right now Do Not Disturb. I've read the first two Housewife books, and now I've read The Intruder. Put the must-read Freida McFadden book in the comment section below if you're a Freida McFadden fan. Okay, so that's what I thought this book was going to be about. Now, I'll tell you, before I get to the spoilers, I ended up giving this book 3 stars, okay? And the reason why, if you don't know, first of all, I thought it was real predictable, okay? By the time you get to the last third of the book, it's real predictable. Kind of. There's kind of a twist at the end. But to be honest with you, I was so ready for the book to be over, I didn't really care about the twist at the end. Okay, but I knew it was going to be some kind of twist. Then, the twist is such a coincidence. I'm like, oh, girl, miss me with this. Okay, seriously? And my friend Nikki said it is like a perfect Freida McFadden ending, like all of her books end that way. Well, I'm reading Do Not Disturb right now, so I hope it don't end that way because I'm real into that book. She's staying in a spooky hotel and stuff like that. Anyway, I gave it 3 stars. I thought it was just okay. If I read it by Susie Jones and I didn't know who Susie Jones was, I wouldn't recommend it to nobody, okay? I think because Freida McFadden, I mean, I saw this thing and somebody read The Intruder, and I was like at the beginning of it, and I was loving it at the beginning of it. I was like, oh my God, this book is so good. And I saw, who is the guy on Instagram that I follow? He's, I think it's The Book Order. Is that his name? Hold on a second. Let me look him up. Oh, people are sending me all kinds of messages and stuff like that. Is it The Book Order? Is that his name? I love his reviews. I was kind of surprised The Book Order. Is that his name? He did this review. Is that him? Hold on a second. Oh, here he's got it right here, The Intruder. Hold on, let's see if... Yeah, this is him right here. I love his reviews so much, okay? And he said in his review, and this was when I had just started it, and I was like devastated when I saw his review because he and I kind of like, if he likes a book, I'll like a book kind of thing, right? I don't know him, but I love his reviews. The Book Order. Go follow him on Instagram. So anyway, so when I saw him and he said he thinks Freida McFadden might need to take a break for a while. And I was like, oh, this book ain't going to be so good. And then I got to the end of it and I was like, oh, he's so right. What's his name, Danny? I should give him a shout out because he's such a nice guy. I think his name's Danny. Hold on a second. Is his name Danny? Danny, yeah. The Book Order. Go follow him on Instagram. But anyway, he was like, she needs to, I got to the end of the book, I was like, she needs to take a break. Okay? Freedom, you need to take a break. Okay? Isn't she like a brain scientist or a neurologist or something? I don't know. You need to take a break. And I think you've made more money than God at this point, okay? Publishing a book a month. So I think you're probably fine. And I do like her books. I do. But, so, okay, here's the spoiler part of the book. I don't want to ruin it for you at all. I don't like these books that go back and forth in time. Okay, I get very confused about it. Especially when the names are similar. Okay, so it's Casey. And then it's Eleanor, that goes by Mel at the end of the book. So I knew there was going to be some trickery with this. I knew, so it goes back and forth, okay? So when you read the book, Casey, who's the adult woman living in this cabin, okay? It goes back and forth between her and this before. It goes before and now. The before story is about this girl when she's growing up. I figured out pretty quickly it was Casey, okay? The girl shows up at her house with a knife in her bag and blood all over her clothes and stuff like that. So you immediately think it's her story. But you know it's not her story because that wouldn't be a Freida McFadden book if you're any kind of educated reader. So I was like, immediately I knew it was Casey's story. So then I'm like, well, why is this girl, which she calls her like, through the whole book, calls her Ella or Elle or something like that, when that was her name. And then at the end, she tells her dad that she meets that she likes to go by Mel, okay? So then you find out at the end, when you read this book, if you're watching for the spoilers, it's because you read the book, so I don't need to explain the backstory to you. But Casey then killed her mom, okay? And because she thought her dad was this doctor, this professor, and that she had this sister that was like perfect. That whole part to me was so pathetic that she couldn't realize that that girl was a mean girl. She just wanted her to be her sister so bad. She had a perfect life. I kind of felt bad for her. I thought, you don't have a good read on any of this, girl. You like, I don't know, you don't have a good read on any of this kind of stuff. So, and then the girl's real mean to her. And so her boyfriend, I think his name was Antoine, the boyfriend smashes the shit out of that girl. And so then she's like, that's the last day that I'm going to ever, the sister. So she's like, that's the last day I'm ever going to see him. And then we don't know where Antoine goes. So by the end of the book, when you find out that the girl there is looking for her dad, I knew the boy down the street was either Antoine or his brother that had a crush on Elle when she was a little girl. The stories were like this, but miss me with this shit, okay? The book took place, excuse me, I don't really cuss over here that much, but I guess I'm going to have to start to if I'm going to read these Freida McFadden books. But miss me with this, okay? How is, this book takes place in like Vermont, but she drives to Massachusetts or New Hampshire or something like that to go back home, or to go to this gal's town, because then Casey kills this girl's mom. She burns her with all these cigarette burns and then she kills her. Okay, how is it that she is 2 states, several hours apart, okay? And the guy that just happens to live down the street from her happens to be the father of the girl that is the intruder that looked her dad. I mean, the coincidence of all of this, that just happens to be Antoine's brother that always had a crush on Casey, Eleanor, when she was growing up. And then they want us to understand that he moved there for Casey, but Casey just moved in not too long ago. So, but this Lee guy, I was so confused by the end of this book, and I thought, this is such a coincidence. There is no way. Okay, there is just no way all day. Like, this book was dumb. It was dumb. The ending of the book, and the book had so much promise, because like I said, I love a good storm book, okay? They could have had him hunker down in that storm, and somebody could have come with an axe and chopped down the door, and then it could have been this girl was looking for her dad, and her dad was Lee, and then Lee was just some serial killer that was released on, I don't know, something, okay? This was stupid. I was so done by the end of this book. I was so mad. I should have given it 2 stars. But I didn't need the Freida McFadden cult coming after me. I didn't. So I gave it 3. I was like, we'll just give it 3 stars. I was so over it. I was so excited about this book. And then everybody's like, oh, it's a Freida McFadden. What does that mean it's a Freida McFadden book? Okay? Like, I read a lot of books by the same people. I expect them to be good or I wouldn't continue to read them. This book had so much potential. Anyway, have you read it? Have you read this book? If you have, let me know what you thought in the comment section below. Like, if you like Freida McFadden, I guess I don't know, I haven't read enough of her, but I'm going to continue to read her. I mean, one book ain't going to make me give up on somebody. I like the Housemaid books, and I didn't think those were predictable. I mean, I didn't think this book was super predictable, except that I knew there had to be some tie-in between the girl and this woman, so I was like, at some point, I was like, well, Casey's the girl. Casey's the backstory. And these 2 girls have such similar stories. They both have moms that put cigarettes out in their arms, and there's got to be some tie-in to all this. Then I had it figured out, and once I have the book figured out, I'm done with it. And quite frankly, I feel like Freida McFadden is known for weaving these fantastic, like The Housemaid, maybe she's evolved over time, and that's why I ask, is this a re-release? Because The Housemaid, I thought, was not that predictable. Some of it was predictable, but I don't know, and the characters were more interesting. I wasn't that interested in these characters, first of all. I didn't really feel like they were 3-dimensional characters. I thought the Housemaid characters were kind of 3-dimensional. These characters I wasn't really that interested in, any of them. Not even enough to stay at their house overnight in a storm, you know? So... Anyway, if you read it, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Also, put your favorite Freida McFadden, and I'll read that one coming up next. Put it in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.